All of us have heard on the news of children who reacted to an emergency situation in a heroic manner, saving the life of another child or an adult. The fact is that most children can be taught to handle an emergency, including if someone is bleeding. This is a part of a series on emergencies every child can learn to handle. In an emergency, the best thing you can do is tell your parents, a teacher, or another adult that you trust right away. But if no one is around, you may need to take action. The good news is that you can help someone who is bleeding. Here's what you need to know so that you can help and be a hero. Time can be critical if someone is bleeding. For the person who is bleeding, they may be very scared, and if they lose too much blood, they could become weak, dizzy, or lightheaded. The good news is you can help. By knowing what to do, you can step in during an emergency situation and perform an act of kindness. Here is what you can do to assist someone. The most common type of bleeding that children will see is the nosebleed. Seeing blood can be rather scary for a child, so using the common nosebleed is a good teachable moment. Nosebleeds can happen for many reasons, but they're easy to stop. First, lean the person forward, like you're leaning over the sink. They may want to lean back, but this could cause them to swallow some blood and irritate their stomach. Second, pinch the sides of the nose against the hard inner cartilage with enough force to stop the bleeding. Make sure your fingers are on the hard part of the nose about halfway up. Don't completely close the nostrils. If you're pinching the nose correctly, the person bleeding should still be able to breathe through his nose while you hold pressure. You should hold this pressure for 5 minutes. Do not let go. After 5 minutes, if the bleeding has not stopped, hold it again for 10 minutes. You may repeat this again for another 10 minutes, and then if it's still bleeding, it's time to call 911. If a child is able to take care of the nosebleed, they're ready to learn how to deal with a cut on themselves or someone else. Like the nosebleed, putting pressure on the wound is the first step. They may want to send someone to get gauze pads or a terry towel to use on the wound. They want to hold it for about 5 minutes to be sure that the bleeding is stopping. Then just leave the gauze or towel in place until you can get adult help. Teaching your child these simple first aid steps and tips is good for their knowledge and confidence. Role play or practice can be made into a game with the kids, and they will learn that way very fast. Putting together your own first aid kit and explaining what each part is and when to use it can make them feel like a part of the process and more at ease in dealing with an emergency. Balanced Life Skills is providing these safety tips as a part of our self-defense program for the community. We welcome you to visit us at our studio to see how we're building character, confidence, and contributing to our students in Annapolis, Maryland.